I went to the bank to withdraw money, but the teller was playing games and pretended not to hear me. Her nasty attitude made me instantly angry. I was about to file a complaint. That's when she suddenly acted polite and asked what I wanted to do. I only planned to withdraw $10,000, but she was on the phone while handling my request and ended up adding an extra zero. My $10,000 instantly became $100,000. She even warned me to count carefully, saying once I left the counter they wouldn't be responsible. A few days earlier, when I came to deposit money, she had messed up and bought me a financial product by mistake. The manager found out and scolded her, even deducted 3 days' pay. Since then, she held a grudge against me and treated me worse and worse. I counted the cash carefully and realized the amount was way off, so I tried to give the money back, but she kept gaming and ignored me completely. I called out to her again and again. She just grew. More annoyed, assumed I was accusing her of giving me too little, and said coldly they weren't responsible once I left the counter. She even accused me of making trouble on purpose. Even so, I kept explaining patiently, but she was so fed up she called security. Before I could explain clearly, the guards came to drag me out. At that moment, the manager heard the noise and came over to ask what was happening, but the teller was terrified. Her mistake would get her fired. So she lied and said I was some obsessive pursuer, that she had already rejected me many times. The manager didn't think much of it and told her to handle it herself. Then she angrily kicked me out. As I walked out of the bank, a lawyer stopped me. He had long been fed up with their behavior. Just yesterday, his mother came to withdraw money, but the teller unreasonably demanded the account holder show up in person. His mother's husband had been dead for years since she couldn't bring him. The teller told her to leave. The old woman had no choice but to go, while the teller went right back to watching her shows. The lawyer was disgusted by her attitude, so he drafted a voluntary gift agreement for me and told me to get her signature. When I went back with the paper, she was already furious with me without even looking. She signed it casually. I left with peace of mind. That night, I paid a full year's rent and moved into a new place. The next day, I took the elevator to go out and unexpectedly ran into the teller. She immediately assumed I had come asking for money because a colleague had warned her last night that she had shorted someone $900, so she yelled at me, repeated again and again that the bank wasn't responsible. Once I left the counter, but what she didn't know was that I had just moved in as her new neighbor. We argued all the way up to the 17th floor. I was about to unlock my door when she stopped me again, arrogantly demanding that if I knelt and knocked my head 3 times and swore never to bother her again, she would forgive me. I looked at her and laughed coldly, thinking she was out of her mind. Then I turned and went inside without a word. It wasn't until the next day that she finally learned from her colleagues she hadn't given me less money at all. She had actually given me $90,000 too much.